The city of Malkiya, located just steps away from the Lebanon border, was once a vibrant community with a population of approximately 800 people before the onset of the war. Today, that number has declined all the way to 15 residents. Since the conflict began in northern Israel, specifically in the Galilee region, over 7,000 missiles have been launched by the terrorist organization of Hezbollah, with these small towns bearing the brunt of a daily missile attack. In a recent interview, we spoke with Eitan Oren, a local farmer who described the profound impact this war has had on the community and also on the economy and the population.
The morale of our troops is very high, thank God. It's the only thing that keeps us together. I'm sorry, how many of them are alive? We know nothing about this. So no deal. Right. Unless we're putting our boots on his neck. And we're very close to that. Very close to that. So it takes time. But we're winning. We're winning over them. You would expect underground tunnels in that area, which is valley with soft soil. I don't think we should do any deal with them. There's no way to cut half a deal and have 20 or 30 of them hostages. And we don't even know how many of them are alive.
As we saw a limitation of the border, we could see a Lebanese military base perched on a hill on the opposite side, clearly monitoring our movements.
We estimate
How many rockets that have landed over
how
here?
many rockets since the beginning of the war, which is 300 more than 300 days. We estimate 7,000, about 7,000 altogether, not necessarily here in Malkiya, but around 7,000. That includes explosive drones and all that. Specific in Malkiya, I cannot tell you by the exact number. I can estimate, look, it's like 10 months or so. The average is every 3-4 days there's an incident around here. So do the calculate. Incident of 2 or 3 rockets, or sometimes 4 or 5. So the average is every 3-4 days, few rockets here.
Eitan, a farmer, explains that many of these animals on his farm, including cattle, horses, and others, have died or are suffering from psychological trauma. They have become fearful, refuse to eat, and are deeply affected by the constant explosions that regularly occur in this area.
Some kind of normal life when they're here. So this is Malkiya stables. Malkiya, God is my king. Malkiya, God is my king. And we sure need God's help and your prayers, people.
So we are here in Malkiya, next border to Lebanon. You are with the horses. One of the things that a lot of people do not explain is how this constant rockets, bombings, and explosions, how it affects the animals, and how it has affected them to eat, to reproduce, and to just live. On the back, right here, you will see the border with Lebanon. Over there on top of that hill, it is a military base of Lebanon, and constant rockets over here. They just told us that since the war started, more than 7,000 rockets have landed around this vicinity. Just today, there was an alert of another rocket. So imagine how these animals have to live, during this war. It's one of the saddest things that affects the farmers. And it's only affecting the lives. It's a community that it was a large community. Now you have only 10 to 15 people. And, this is another thing that nobody talks about, the life of the animals with the farmers.
We used to have lots more, but most of them been evacuated.
As we drove by the border wall of Lebanon, we can see a military base perched on top of the hill, constantly monitoring the town and its residents. Despite the ongoing conflict, the small population that remains, it is still waiting for the war to end and for others to return home. As they often say, I will never leave my home because my life is here.
We are holding a gun to protect ourselves. We have no interest of invading into Lebanon to fight anyone, to kill anyone. We don't. We just do it for our own protection. I just remind you who started this war. Both sides. We didn't have anything to do with Lebanon. They started it to show the appreciation to the nothing to do with this. But they started it. They will pay for that. And they are paying for this already.
Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. We are in the limitations between Lebanon and Malkiya. Behind me, you can see Lebanon right there. In that particular position, they have been sending drones, rockets, and missiles on a daily basis between the quantities of 30 to 35 to this particular town. Since October 7, more than 7,000 missiles, drones, and rockets have been deliberately attacked Israel since this part of Hezbollah. This is, the current situation of this city in Malkiya, where before there were hundreds of citizens in this particular place, and now you only have like 10 or 15 of them. Has not only affected the lives of the citizens, but also the lives of the animals. Nobody talks about that. The horses, the cows. This town is dedicated to farm, dedicated to farm fruits, also dedicated also to, the wine. They sell wines worldwide, and they have won world prizes. This is a really well-known particular city in Israel, and it's being brutally attacked by these animals that you see behind me, that is Hezbollah. As they are trying to defend themselves, the IDF is located on this particular town, but this town, it is getting hit and bombed and rocket and drone on a daily basis. Blue for Real America's Voice News, and the limitations between Lebanon and Israel in the city of Malkiya.